started the week, guys, number 6 in the AP poll. They lost 2 of their last 3, got beat today by 3, 73-70 at the hands of San Diego State. They're now 4-3, so only a game over 500. They lost to Auburn as well earlier on in the season, which, no shame, Auburn's damn good. But at 4-3, Rob Dosser, are we concerned about Kelvin Sampson's team?
I'm starting to get there, right? And I don't think it's anything with any of the individual results. Losing to Auburn, who looks like the best team in college basketball right now, no shame in that. It was a 5-point game. You had to Hot Bedford go nuts. It is what it is. Things happen, right? You lost to Alabama in an overtime game that could have gone either way. I'm not concerned about that too much. You lost to San Diego State in an overtime game. I'm not too concerned with that. Here's where I am a little bit worried, right? Milos Uzan, I don't think, is coming in as a guy that can replace Jamal Shed. And what I mean by that is he's not the same kind of impact defender at the point of attack. So I don't think that Houston is quite what they were defensively last year, this season. The other problem is he doesn't make things easier for other guys. I think if you go back and you watch some of these late game possessions, a lot of it is like, okay, LJ Cryer, dribble, try to get to a step back, try to get to a tough 3. Emmanuel Sharp, get him coming off a ball screen. He's going to pull a step back or try to get all the way to the rim. And they don't really have somebody that can create some wide open looks, some maybe higher percentage looks in those situations. Houston's never going to get run out of the gym. They're going to get too many offensive rebounds. They're going to force too many turnovers. They're going to have too many extra shots, and they're going to find ways to keep themselves in the game. But in those crunch time situations where it's like, okay, if we score here, we win. If we score here, we force an extra period. We have to get a bucket here. I think they're settling for too many difficult shots, and I think that that's why we're seeing them lose some of these close games in the end. So that's a little bit of a concern. They're still going to win 25 games. But when it comes to Houston this year, like the expectation is, can they get past what they've been? Can they get to a title game? Can they compete for a national championship? We've seen them win the Big 12 in the first year they're in the Big 12. We've seen them make a Final Four. We've seen them do all of that. They're good enough to do that stuff this year. If we're talking about the fine margins when it comes to cutting down those nets on that Monday in April, I'm a little bit worried about that because I don't see them getting easy shots and clutch possessions.
Rob, you know what?
Go ahead,
I think the thing is, the guy they're looking for is he in Toronto. I mean, just Jamal Shed. I mean, it's just when we talked about them in this, before the season started, the concern was this situation. They played 3 really good teams. They were in close competitive games. He just had the ability to put that team on his back and carry them home. They don't have that. They're going to defend their ass off. They're going to rebound. We know that. They have the style. But offensively, they don't have a guy. And Sampson has said it before, and they don't have a guy. And there's a lot I think Duke's struggling with that too. Having a guy that you can give the ball to in the late game situations, it's not always to make the shot, it's to make the play. Either I'm going to give it to you. If it's one-on-one, we live in. If they come, they double, they make a play, you find somebody else. They just missing that guy. Uzan is a good player. I mean, I think he's good. It's just what he's replacing was the guy that was their leader, their heart and soul of that team, and that's hard to do. And early on, it's going to take some time to figure that out. I don't know where they're going to get better, where their offense is going to come from, who's going to take on that load. I don't think it can be any one person individually, but they're going to struggle in these moments until figuring out a way. Their execution in late game situations has got to be a lot better than LJ Cryer ISO. It's got to be something where he can, and maybe those guys get something going to the basket a little bit too. I think sometimes they settle at key moments of a game late, but they just don't have that guy. Say what you want. We said it last year. We knew it was coming. We've seen this. We've seen it so far this year, and I think it'll continue. Maybe someone steps up in that moment. We'll see who it is. But right now, that guy's just, unfortunately, they're missing that guy that's playing in Toronto, Canada right now.
Yeah, I'd also add, like, the Aztecs are good, man. Like, that is a good basketball
team.
A good
like
basketball
their 3 losses are against teams that you can't argue about any of it, right? It's just like, it's not a disappointment. It's just that the reason that's important for Houston is because their style of play, they're going to be in these type of games. They're going to beat you up. They're going to grind you. They're going to be in these close games. And that's so at the end of the day, when you're in these type of games, you got to say, all right, I need a guy that can close the game. They need a closer right now. And right now their closers graduated. And can you develop into that? It's going to be by committee. You know, they're going to have to, that's going to be the hard thing is how do they generate offense in the last 2 or 3 minutes of a game, you know, and that's going to be game to game. It's going to be who got the hot hand, but I don't know if they got enough guys that can create. I mean, they got a couple of good ones. Obviously, LJ can be that guy, but right now it's like I said again, they're missing that one guy, Jamal Shead. That's the problem.
Yep.
It's
And
not a good outlook.
all right,
Yeah.
Chris. Yeah, real quick, just one note, and then I'll let you do what you got to do so Dagan doesn't yell at us anymore. Their schedule in the Big 12 is really backloaded. In the next 2 months, they don't really play a game that they should lose. Next game they play, where I think that they probably have a chance to lose, is at Kansas on January 25th. And so they have some time right now to be able to go and figure this out and get it together and kind of have those answers put in place as they get to the meat of their Big 12 schedule.